watching this and you are beginning your first class, this will be at the beginning of EMS 110, the beginning of this somewhat historic class, being the first degree EMS program that Richmond Community College ever had. I want to take a moment to welcome you and to go over a few things about the class. Normally I do this at the beginning of a class in person, but we are in the midst of the COVID situation, and I honestly don't know how we'll be operating come the fall. So I thought it would be best if I went ahead and started preparing for the possibility of being online and having to operate online. In this video, I'm going to explain a few things. It'll be abbreviated. It usually takes me a lot longer. We're going to talk about some specific things about the program, about what it takes to succeed in it, what you can expect. And yes, it's customary that I give you a little bit of an introduction about myself, just so you know who you're dealing with. If you don't know it by now, my name's Rob McDuffie. I'm sure you've seen it in different publications about this program. Originally from Asheboro, North Carolina, born and bred, now living in Troy, North Carolina. And beyond that, it's difficult for me to give you my resume because I generally don't like to talk about myself that much. But I will give you the basics. I went to Guilford Tech, got my EMS degree from Guilford Tech last century. My bachelor's and master's degrees were from University of Mount Olive. In the interest of full disclosure, I'll tell you that my bachelor and master's are not in EMS. They're in healthcare administration, and I'm an MBA. And I did that on purpose. And if you want to know why, ask me. I'm not going to go into it here. That was a choice that I made, even though I was in EMS at the time and had no plans on leaving it. One of the things that I think is my job is to counsel you. So if you're interested in or thinking about your own future and you think something I've done can help you, ask me about it, and I'll be glad to tell you why I chose the path I did. Probably the most beneficial thing to you from my experience, or with my experience, is I've been in EMS for about 35 years, and I've been teaching for about 25. I've worked in 10 counties from the foothills to the coast in that time, taught for more community colleges than I can count. I've been a consultant for a while, a little bit, not a whole lot, but I did some consulting. And I've held pretty much every position in EMS except medical director because I'm not a doctor. Over time, I'm sure you'll get the specifics of my career and where I've been and what I've done. And don't mind if you ask me, I'll be glad to tell you. Suffice it to say, I know this business. I don't claim to know anything else, really, but I know this business. It's been my life. I've loved it. It's a fascinating and weird way to make a living. It is, somebody like me who has the inherent attention span of a gnat if something doesn't interest me. This has held my attention for 35 years and continues to. So it's very special to me, and I hope it will be very special to you. It kind of needs to be special. EMS is not merely a job. It really is a way of life. The gravity of what we do, the gravity of our profession is going to pull on every area of your life. And I won't go into a lot of that now. Over time, we'll explore that because I think we need to. I think I'm not doing my job as an instructor if I don't introduce you to some of those things. But I can tell you that everything that I went into this profession believing has been challenged. And some of those beliefs came out stronger than ever, and some were changed forever. EMS is a force of nature. Doing this for a living, it pulls on you, it pushes you. It's not the kind of thing you leave at your locker at the end of the day and just go home. So if you're looking for a job, and that's your mindset, you might be in the wrong place. Go take welding or auto body or something like that. Something that at the end of your day you can just forget it and go home. You carry a lot of this stuff with you, and you will. And that kind of brings me to, I wanted you to get your money's worth here. So very early on in your first video, in your first class, I'm going to give you a lesson that is one of the more important, in my opinion, one that you'll take with you as long as you're in this business. And it's a word, and it's a concept, and it's one that you have got to master if you want to be successful in this program or in this profession. And that word is adaptability. It's particularly relevant now because, as I mentioned, we're involved in this COVID thing, and I don't really know exactly how we're going to be proceeding with the program. It certainly might be a little different than what we had planned, which was your traditional class where people sat around and you look at each other and you interact with each other. You must be able to adapt. This concept and this lesson that I'm giving you right now, you won't find it on any test, not on state tests, not on the National Registry. But if you don't master this concept, you're setting yourself up for failure. Think of it this way. When you're trying to get somewhere, there's a lot of roads you can take. And you don't have to always take the same roads, but you always end up where you're supposed to be. It's the way I'm looking at it. Don't let it freak you out. If we're having to do a modified schedule, I can promise you that if you'll take advantage of it, I'm going to give you more than what you need to succeed. That's my job and my pleasure. Your job must be to devote yourself to doing the work and learning the material. I can't talk at you and you sit there and this is going to osmose into your brain. No, you got to put it there. You've got to study. You've got to do the work if you want to succeed in this business. I've got more than 2 years of material that I got to get into your head in 2 years. So much that we need to cover, and we will cover. So, thus endeth the first lesson, and that is you have to be adaptable. If you can't master that, if you have a problem with that, then you really need to sit down and do some soul searching as to whether you've picked the right profession. Because I promise you, EMS is a creature of change. It changes all the time. It never stops. Just when you got everything where you want it, somebody's going to change the rules on you. So if that really eats at you and gets to you, you're going to be an unhappy person a lot of the time. You have to be able to roll with the punches. And again, I guess I should talk about that concept in a more practical term as it relates to our current situation. Probably what will happen if we are still on some type of modified schedule will mean that your lecture days will be done here. You'll still have me lecturing, but it'll be over slideshows that are down there, probably below this video now. And our lab days and practical days we will meet. That's what the nurses did last semester. We're exempt from strict rules as far as not coming into class because we're medical people. So you will still get some face time with me. And I should say, while you're watching the lessons, while you're watching the lectures, if you have questions, keep a notebook handy. Hopefully you got a notebook handy anyway. Keep a notebook handy and write them down. And write your questions down and bring them to me. I have, and I should say this at some point in this video, now's as good a place as any. I really do have an open door policy. You can come by and see me. There may be times when I'm up against the clock on something for the college or for the state or something like that, and I just have to reschedule with you. But if you've got a problem, you can come by and see me. Same thing goes for the phone. I put my telephone number in the syllabus. That's my personal cell. I will ask, please be judicious with that. And by that, there's a lot more of you than there are of me. And it doesn't take a handful of students with a problem in off time, and I'm on the phone all the time. I did my time doing that when I was the director of emergency services, where I had the phone with me 24/7 as I had to. It was my job description that I was reachable. I don't mind you calling me. As a matter of fact, there's some situations where I would prefer that you did call me. If you have a problem, and this is where you're going to have to use your own judgment, but if you have a problem that just will not wait, and you don't think it'll wait, what pops into my mind immediately when I think of things that I want to hear about immediately are like Title IX issues. And you can look up Title IX on the college website, and there's some stuff in it about your handbook too. Basically, it comes down to some type of harassment. If that is happening, I kind of want to know about that immediately, as soon as possible. There's something else you need to understand about those types of issues. And that is, if you drop a Title IX issue on my lap, certain things have to happen. We have a Title IX officer here, and that complaint has got to be addressed. It's got to be taken to the Title IX officer. Please, and I've had students do this to me over the years, please don't drop a Title IX issue in my lap and tell me you don't want me to do anything about it, because what you've done is you put me in an impossible position. Because if that situation escalates, a new facet of it develops, and it comes to light that I knew about it and did not take action, then I am liable and the college is liable. So I will caution you, just as a matter of practice, don't go slinging those around lightly. But if you have such a complaint, a legitimate complaint, by all means bring it forward immediately. Another thing, it won't be so much of a factor this semester, but you'll be out in clinical settings and in field internship settings. And if anything happens at a site, anything goes down at a site, something bad happens, you get asked to leave a site, I want to know about that pretty quickly, because I need to get out ahead of that too. That could affect you and the whole program. That's just two reasons right there I can think of. If you think you need to call me, call me. We're going to see a lot of each other. We're going to see a whole lot of each other. You're going to see me every day this semester. So it's not like we're not going to have time to talk. Having said that, if it's something that won't wait, you don't think it'll wait, call me or come by and see me. I don't have a problem with that at all. If you're having a problem, and this brings me to another topic, it's called life management. If you want to succeed in college, I don't know that this is as much as true now as it used to be, but it's still true. And that if you want to get through college successfully, you've got to manage your life. You've got to try to stay clear of drama. You've got to, I don't expect this program to be the number one thing in your life. I would hope that would be some combination of God, country, family, but whatever floats your boat. But this program has got to be a priority. It doesn't have to be the highest priority. It doesn't even have to be in the top 3 or 4, but it does need to be up there pretty high. If it's not, then distractions are going to kill you. They're going to destroy you. You're not going to make it through the program because of distractions that happen. You have to manage your life. You have to be able to focus on what it is you're trying to do, and that's hard. It's hard for anybody to do. It's hard. Things happen. I've been teaching paramedic classes down east, and our hurricane wiped out the homes of 3/4 of my class. Flooding did anyway. Well, that's a pretty serious life management issue, and I lost a lot of students over it. I never blamed them. I'm going to blame you if there's something pops up in your life that you didn't expect, and you have to make some different arrangements. I will never hold that against you. But you do have to manage what you can manage. And I'll say this, I don't get in anybody's business. That's not me, never was me. I steer clear of drama. I've had enough for 20 lives, don't need any more. But if you've got a problem you think I can help you with, or you need some advice on, and it's affecting your work, you might want to come and talk to me about it. Anything that's going to affect your work here, if I can help, I will. But at the end of the day, you've got to manage your own life if you're going to make it through college, period. Don't be distracted too much. There are always distractions, but don't let the distractions take you away, take your focus away. It kind of comes down to my expectations. I expect this program to be something of a priority. I, of course, expect you to treat it seriously. That's not to say we don't have fun. We do have fun. We have a lot of fun, especially in practicals and things like that. People seem to enjoy those a whole lot. We do have a lot of work to do, and it's not always going to be easy work. But I think you'll enjoy it. I know I do. I enjoy teaching it. I enjoy watching you learn it and helping you learn it. As for your expectations, what you have a right to expect, you have a right to expect that I'm going to teach you something, or at least attempt to, because teaching is my responsibility, learning is your responsibility. I can't be responsible for you learning as long as I'm teaching. Now enough said about that. Here's the dirty little secret for you, though. I'm not going to make you a paramedic.
What?
And I paused on purpose to let that sink in. And there's a reason for that. I'm a firm believer, and it's just my belief. It's something else you won't find in any book, but I'm a firm believer you learn how to be a paramedic by being a paramedic. And you're never finished learning to be a paramedic. You're finished when you take off the uniform for the last time. That's when you're finished. By being an EMS, you condemn yourself to a life of perpetual studenthood. If you got your paramedic 5 years ago, a large percentage of what you learned is obsolete. That's how much it moves. So I'm not going to make you a paramedic. You're going to make you a paramedic. What I'm going to do is give you the tools that a paramedic needs, and I'm going to mainly give you a chance, a starting place. I'm going to spend a lot of time teaching you how to not kill people while you're learning to help people. We're going to kill a lot of mannequins in this class and hurt a lot of mannequins in this class, so we don't do it to real people. I will say this, you will be more than prepared. And it's my intention that this program will not be second to any. I won't accept that. I want this to be the best program. I'll think small for a while, say in North Carolina. I want it to be the best program ever, anywhere. But I'll settle for North Carolina for right now. You will know, if you let me, I will prepare you to begin to learn how to be a paramedic. So I don't teach the state test, don't teach the National Registry, don't even give them a second thought. I never have. I teach you what you need to know to do this job, to survive in this profession without, and actually be a benefit to people. And I let the state test and National Registry take care of itself. Always have. I don't see any sense in changing it now. So, wow, this has already got longer than I meant it to be. So I'll wrap it up. I hope it gave you at least a little snapshot of who you're dealing with and how I believe. You'll learn it more. You'll learn more about me, I guarantee you. You'll understand your instructor, and hopefully I will understand you. I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you. And I look forward to your success. I want you to be successful here, and as long as you don't give up, I won't give up. But I can't learn it for you. I can't do it for you. I'll help you. I'll stay down into it in the mud with you as long as it takes, as long as you're willing to do it. And I'm going to wrap this up. Take a little bit to get to know Moodle. Play with it a little bit if you hadn't already, if you're not familiar with it. It's a pretty cool little platform. We'll be using it a lot. Even if we are in seated classes, I put things on Moodle that I think are helpful. Other instructors, other lecturers, some of the work they've done, there's some great stuff out there, and fortunately for you, I've looked at most of it, probably a large part of it, and I will post things there even if I don't need to, because this is not a hybrid class technically, but I put it there so you'll have access to it. As a general rule, don't get a tattoo of this on yourself, because it may not always be true. When you look on my site and you see red buttons and blue buttons, or red bars and blue bars, the red bars are what I consider critical material. The blue bars will take you to resources that it would, as one of my old instructors say, behoove you to take a look at, because they're bonus material and they're great material. They look at things a little more in depth. But I'm not going to, if you don't watch the blue bar material, I'm not necessarily going to come to your house and break all your spaghetti. The red ones, if you don't watch that, I will come to your house and break all the spaghetti. So, off we go, gang. Good luck, and I'm sure we'll speak soon.